All right, what is up, guys? So, in this video, what we're going to be covering is basically giving you guys everything that I'm doing on the back end to help increase show up rate so that you guys can get your show up rate to 80% at bare minimum. Okay. Now, 80% is what we strive for, and you have to think about it in terms of lost opportunity. If your show up rate is 40%, it's not that the leads suck, and it's not that like the problem for not making money isn't that you're not closing, but rather you're not taking full advantage of your actual process, which is starting them from the initial moment that a lead comes in to getting them onto the sales call. If you're at a 40% show up rate, if you just get it to 80%, if you double your show up rate, you double your revenue. You don't have to increase ad spends or anything of that sort. You just simply double or triple your company's revenue depending on your show up rate. And so these are some of the levers that I'll kind of break down for you guys on this call. And hopefully, if you guys are implementing any of this, then just start implementing it. I'm going to give away pretty much an open book into my agency, into my business. Last month in May, we crossed 40K in revenue. I do done for you for roofers from across the US. And so let's get into it. Now, authority. So when a prospect comes in from top of funnel, they are interested. They're curious. They're not warm. They're not a referral. You're not going to close them immediately. They need to be nurtured. They need to be qualified. And so authority is you coming off as an authority. How do you go about increasing your authority? This is social proof. This is adding testimonials to your Trustpilot, adding videos and testimonials to your website, forcing this information down the prospect's throat because they know nothing about you initially. And so we want the entire pre-nurture process to be so extreme that all they need to know is just the investment on hopping on the call and you closing them. Now, yes, that is the extreme, but we want to get to the extreme as close as possible. And so with that, they need to know, hey, this is a serious company. They've worked with, over 100 clients across the US. Their social pages are legit. They have the blue check mark. They're getting thousands of views per short. They have a bunch of reviews, a bunch of testimonials. And this is what we have to leverage to your advantage. And so you leverage this by just simply forcing it down their throat, which is how it has to go. And not everything all at once. You want to kind of pick a certain cadence as well for this entire series. But authority. For example, if Elon Musk said to you, hey, I'm free for an hour tomorrow morning at 10 a.m., but you have something going on at 10 a.m., you would cancel your 10 a.m. plans to talk to Elon Musk. Now, why is that the case? It's because of his status and his authority in what he does and how he's perceived among people in the world. And again, extreme, but we want to get as close to that as possible. Now, value. Now, on the sales call, it should be less education based on the sales call. If a company fills out your form, they're curious. They want to know more. They're intrigued. Now, most of the bullshit surface level questions you're going to get are, what does it cost? What do you guys do? How are you guys different? And you guys want to provide value through this by answering all of these questions. And you can simply put this on the thank you page or send this to them in email campaigns beforehand, kind of telling them, hey, here's a quick video on why we're different. It'll be 1 to 2 minutes. Watch this before the call. And again, you need to force this and you need to make the prospects watch all of these videos because you don't want them coming on the call without any clue as to who you are or what you do. That is worst case scenario and something we need to avoid at all costs. And so you say, post filling out the form, hey, here are 10 videos, each a minute long, about different questions, and you have to make time to watch it. Now, on the sales call, when they do come on, one of the questions we immediately ask is, did you make time to watch any of the pre-call videos? We need to get a yes. If we get a no, they're not going to know anything about us. They're not going to be pre-sold. They're not going to be pre-qualified. They're not going to be nurtured. And it's going to make only the selling process much, much harder. And that's not what we want. So make this in different cadences from the moment they come in. Do not let prospects booked more than 72 hours out. And then set up reminders 1 hour after they fill out the form, 5 hours after they fill out the form, 24 hours before they have the sales call with us, and send them these videos or either put them on your post VSL on your thank you page. And if you have a YouTube channel, if you have testimonials from your website, put those as well in your email campaigns. And again, pre-nurture these prospects. Bring up their emotions. We buy with emotion, sell with buy with emotion, reason with logic. And so we want to get them excited. We want to get their excited, or the emotion of being excited, to come out, because we're not going to dive, too deep into pain on the setting call. We're not going to dive too deep into why what they haven't done is working, or what they have done isn't sufficient enough to get them to the next level in the before the sales call. And so on the flip side of that, we want to get them excited for this call. We want to say, hey, listen, like, we basically looked at your competition. We basically looked at your market. We saw some of the opportunities that we can take advantage of for you and your company and to help you grow. We're excited to chat about this on your call. But something as simple as that. And this can be in a GHL workflow and a quick automation beforehand, like 6 hours after they book the appointment, or 3 hours before the call. However you want to do it, it doesn't really matter. I typically send that out 4 hours before, or it's like 3 to 4 hours before the call. The AI automation will basically search their market, search their competitors, and tell them, hey, like we did research on your competition. We're excited to chat about how we can cut through the market and outperform your competitors. As simple as that. So we want them to be filled with excitement on this call, because it's true. Like, we're helping them out. We're getting them ready for their consultation. That's what it comes down to. Again, and this is kind of reiterating from the initial point, which is education. We want the sales call to be less education based. We do not want them coming on not knowing anything about us. And so what we're going to do here is multiple emails, multiple follow-ups from Go High Levels automation, post booking appointment form about us, what we do, why we're different. Check out our YouTube videos, check out our testimonials, check out our case studies, X client. And also another cool and unique thing here, guys, is after your B2B setting call, what you want to do is have your setter sends pre-sales call assets or sales assets, which include any sort of content that will get them over their own limiting belief. For example, you hop on a B2B setting call. The prospect goes, I've been burnt before by multiple different companies. How are you guys different? To your setter and to you, this should immediately ring alarm of, okay, this is probably the limiting belief. This is probably the objection that they're going to give me. How can I make it so that that objection is completely destroyed and handled beforehand? I'm going to send them videos on why we're different. I'm going to send them case studies on our best performing clients, or not even our best performing clients, but testimonials that are tailored to that company specifically, to prospects or to clients that look just like them, or to clients that are in their situation. And we want to make it as relatable as possible to them. So that's a massive hack and golden nugget that your setters have to be sending out personally to them. Touch points along the way. This goes into basically everything that we've been discussing, which is making them be aware and have this top of mind to them so that they remember to show up to the call. Now, depending on your niche, contractors are extremely flaky. If you are in roofing or HVAC or whatever you're in, you know what I'm talking about. They are extremely flaky. They will bail last minute because they are on the road. They're constantly out in the fields. They're writing estimates and they're talking to homeowners right now. And this also goes back to establishing authority and value and making it so in their minds that, hey, this Marco guy, this awakening growth company, they're important. I need to show up to this call. My company needs help. That's how we want to frame it to them. But it's also to their benefit. Now, we want to keep in mind, how can we make this experience as we want to always keep in mind what's in it for them. That's the bottom line question. That's why on sales call, you don't sell the features, you sell the benefits, you sell the transformation, you sell the end results, you sell what will your company look like with an additional 60 appointments in a given month. We want to sell the transformation. We want prospects to imagine what it's going to be, giving them a crystal clear pipeline and plan with our product, with our service over the course of the duration of their program with you. Okay. Now, personalized messages and voice notes. This is massive. The question that becomes at the end of the day, how can we be different? Better, or different is better than better. We want to be different than everyone else. Send personalized messages, send voice notes, send a quick value statement and voice note on their website on what they can be doing on their ads if they're running ads and they're looking for a different company, and just give value. Just give, 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 give. Because when you give, it starts the law of reciprocity, and your prospects now ask themselves subconsciously, oh, cool, he's giving me a bunch of stuff and a bunch of really good value. How can I give him what he wants? And that's working with us, and that's money, and that's us helping them at the end of the day. Now, receive confirmation and have them add it to the calendar. This is what you want to post them scheduling on the VSL, on the thank you page of the VSL. Just have a quick, hey, add this to your calendar, and immediately have them confirm via an AI automation in Go AI level. Be like, hey, we got your appointment. Just respond to this message to confirm, and then they're going to book them in. And basically, we want them to participate as much as possible throughout this process. And this, guys, is super important to increasing your show rate. And again, we need to think about this as lost opportunity. If your show rate is at 40%, you will double your company if you just double your show rate. As simple as that. Now, this is absolutely important because at the end of the day, this is what we have, right? We have, excuse me here, we have shows, bookings, no, we have leads, bookings, shows, closes. Okay. And so leads, B2B ads, whatever, bookings, this is where the prospects booked, and this is the shows. Now, if this is fine if you're getting a healthy lead flow, that's not the problem. If you're getting healthy bookings, that's not the problem. If you're getting a 40% show rate, that's the problem. So now the problem becomes, how can we fix this show rate? If you're closing at 5%, then your bottleneck is the closes. How can I make sure I don't suck at sales, right? So this is kind of how you want to diagnose and audit your entire process. But you need to know your KPIs and you need to know your numbers. And if you don't have tracking sheets, then that's a problem. Because if you don't know your KPIs, you don't know where the problem is, and then you're going to question, why am I not making any money? Why is my company not growing? So this video will help with the show rate, and I hope that this was of value to you guys, and I will see you in the next.